going to tell you the top 5 easy to find jobs here in Canada. Number 1. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Today we are going to talk about the top 5 easy to find jobs in Canada. But before we get started, I'm super excited to show you my new MacBook Pro. This is the 2017 model with 1 TB SSD storage and 16 gigabytes of RAM. The laptop is really thin and compact, which makes it so much more portable as well. And the speakers are not under the keyboard, unlike the MacBook Air. They've got it on the sides. And the touch bar here is really cool as well. It's very handy and now makes things so much more easier. The only drawback in my opinion is that it has got USB-C type ports, which is why I've also had to purchase another USB hub, and which has still not arrived. I purchased this laptop on Amazon for $2,800 including taxes. Here I've got my MacBook Air. This is also the 2017 model and I've used this one for about 2 years now. This is the very basic version of MacBook with 128 GB SSD and 8 GB of RAM. After using it for so long, I thought I can finally upgrade to a newer and a higher end model. There was a time when I did not like Apple products. I would think that Apple products are way overpriced and Windows and Android can do so much more better. However, after using Apple phone and MacBook Air and now MacBook Pro for some time, I have come to realize that Apple makes life so much more easier, be it editing videos or Apple phones and MacBooks. They never hang, they are never slow, and so that's one huge plus point. It opens up instantly. Like in many other countries, the economy here has fallen as well due to the pandemic. I lost my work term as a software developer, and now because of these restrictions in place, many small businesses are not able to open. However, St. John's is reaching to level 2 next Thursday, so that means gyms and other small businesses here in St. John's are able to open. We have not seen a new COVID-19 case in more than 3 weeks. I cannot wait to go back to the gym. This quarantine has made me so much more fatter. It may not look like, but trust me, it has. I'm going to tell you the top 5 easy to find jobs here in Canada. Number 1, sales job. If you think that you are good with words, you are good in communication, you should absolutely try out sales, because there's always a job and there's always a vacancy for a good seller, for a good person who can sell ideas, who can sell products, and the real money lies in sales. Back in Toronto, I knew so many people who would sell products door to door, who would actually go door to door the entire summer. That's what their summer job was, and they would sell products, they would sell items, and they would sell ideas, and this way they would make money off every sale. A friend of mine would sell water filters door to door, and his minimum commission was $70 per sale, and this was his bare minimum. So no matter what he sells, $70 would be his commission. Now if he sells more expensive items, obviously he's going to make more money. So there's lots of potential to make huge amount of money in this sales industry, and there's always openings, there's always job openings. So let's say that he's working 8 hours a day and he's selling 3 water filters every single day, and this is totally doable. So $70 per water filter, and 70 times 3 is $210. This is what he's taking home every single day. If you're going to do a job, a regular job, I'd say the minimum wage in Ontario, it's $14. You would not be making $210. I think 14 times, say 8 hours, $112. This is what you're going to take home every day if you were doing a regular job. If you are good with words and you can deliver a pitch fluently, you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Many of you know that I went to Toronto, and when I went there, I did not have a job waiting for me. I had to find one. So I got into the fundraising industry. That's what I found a job in, and that's what I got into. Now, fundraising is similar to sales, except you were not selling a physical product, but you were selling an idea. You were talking about lives that could be improved and could be better with the donor's support. When I started out, I was shy, and just like most people, it was difficult for me as well. But once I broke the ice and I started talking to people, it became so much more easier, and the donation and the words and everything just started to come out naturally. A big part of breaking the iceberg were my parents, who were constantly motivating me and supporting me, appreciating every single donation I'd get. And that motivated me to continue doing what I was. And soon I not only started crushing it with the numbers, but I became the top producer in the company.
Jinesh,
Top producer.
top producer, what do you have to say before we head out today?
Actually guys, today we're gonna kill it today. It's a great day and everyone I see is all pumped up already. So let's do it, guys. Come on, put your hands in the center.
Yeah.
On 3, WP Toronto. 1, 2, 3,
WP Toronto!
my first day, I applied to this fundraising company here in St. John's, and I got the interview, but they did not move forward with me, so I was not offered the job. But when I went to Toronto, I applied to the same company's branch in Toronto, and I got the job. I was hired, and in the Toronto's branch, I did so well that they not only promoted me to the supervisor, but when I came to St. John's, they made me the manager here. So this is the same company that took my interview but rejected me. I became the manager here of this company. So yeah, life can be strange sometimes. Getting a sales job is easy, but what's difficult is actually keeping the job. Because in most cases now companies are transitioning to guaranteed pay. What that means is they will pay you no matter what, even if you get them a donation or even if you don't get them a donation. So if you are consistently not getting them any money, if you're consistently not making the company money, you will still be paid for the time that you have worked, but you will be a liability to the company and then they will let you go. Number 2, McDonald's. You might have heard the saying, if you want to get rich, stay here, otherwise get a job at McDonald's. The reason why this line is so famous is because McDonald's hires a new employee every 2 weeks. So if you apply to McDonald's, you're sure to get a job. Sooner or later, you're sure to get it, but it's going to be at the minimum wage. In whichever province you are, in Ontario, it's $14, and in Newfoundland, it's $11.65. So whichever province you are, you will get that wage, and depending on the queue, you will get a job. Positions could vary, but mostly I know people to get a job in the kitchen and work as a cook. Now, even if you don't know how to cook, that's fine because there are systems and procedures in place. You will receive your training. All you have to do is do what you're assigned to do. Tim Hortons is a great place to work as well. I have a friend who works in Tim Hortons at the Aquarina and he really enjoys it out there. For me personally, I think that there's a lot of physical labor involved. You are always on your feet. You're constantly doing something or the other. And the breaks are also so small and it's just crazy out there. But hey, if you need work, you gotta do what you gotta do. Whoa. Before we move on, guys, if you're enjoying this video, throw the thumbs up out there. If you've got a question, put it in the comments. I'm usually very responsive. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, subscribe right now because I often upload videos every 2 to 3 days. Number 3, security jobs. Security jobs are available everywhere here and the starting wage is $16 an hour, which is really good. This is easy to find because there are people always needed for this job in every province in Canada. The typical work that you are going to do is either guard an entry point or patrol the mall, etc. Walmarts in Toronto require security and most shopping malls also have security guards roaming all the time. However, with your regular CV, you cannot get a security job because you need to have completed a security course for that. And after you complete this course, you get a security guard license and that's when you can get a security job. There is a link in the description that will take you to this course. The course is priced at $149 and there's always promotions going on the website. So sometimes you can even get the course for as low as $100. And after you complete this course, they will give you a license. And this is the license that is valid for you to work as a security guard. The course material is 40 hours. However, since this is online, you can do it at your own pace. You can finish it quicker or you can take your own time to do it. But what you need to be careful about is when purchasing a course from here or from anywhere else, you need to see which province this is valid in. So for example, this course is valid in Alberta, Manitoba, Saskatchewan and Ontario. This is not valid in Newfoundland. So I cannot work with that license. Even if I get the license, I cannot work with that license here in Newfoundland. Number 4, delivery drivers. Delivery drivers are always in demand and if you have a car, you can work at Domino's Pizza, No Name Pizza or any other place that requires a driver. The wage here is never constant and it depends upon the number of deliveries you do. The more deliveries you do, the more money you make. And there's also tips that you can get from customers. Single individual tips may not amount to a lot, but if you sum it all up at the end of the day, it does make a huge difference. The reason why drivers are needed so much is because most people who want to work don't have cars, and the people who do have cars, they already have a life settled and so they don't need to work as a driver. Of course, there are pros and cons of owning a car as well. If you're a new driver, you pay a huge amount of insurance and there's also parking that you have to pay everywhere you go. But the pros are you can drive and make a lot of money. You can also drive an Uber if it's there in your province and make a huge amount of money. Now, the good thing about driving an Uber is you get to work at your own schedule, and as a student, sometimes you're free, sometimes you're busy, and having the option to work any time of the day is really convenient. If you don't have a car, that's fine. You can still work at Uber Eats. You probably need a bicycle, so you're going to have to buy a used or new bicycle for that, and you can still gather a lot of money working at Uber Eats. Number 5, cashier's jobs. Cashier jobs are so much in demand right now, especially during this time of the pandemic. There was a time when it was so difficult to find a cashier's job. But now, because of this pandemic, big companies like Walmart and Sobeys are desperately looking for new cashiers to work because not everybody wants to risk their lives working as a cashier. as a cashier, you're going to touch so many different products, different food items, different materials, and who knows which person might have the virus and which person might not. So most people don't want to risk their lives, and that's why these big companies are desperately seeking out cashiers. I worked as a cashier for over 8 months and then I left because I had to go to Toronto. You will be on your feet throughout your shift, and depending on how long your shift is, you might get 2 paid 15-minute breaks and 1 unpaid lunch hour. Another benefit is after working for 3 months, Walmart will give you a discount card that will give you 10% off on your purchases. So when you're buying groceries, if it amounts to $100, if 4 people are buying together and it amounts to $400, you can get $40 off just like that. Okay, that's it for this video, guys. Thanks for watching Talks with Jinesh. If you've enjoyed this video, give it a huge thumbs up and put in the comments below what topic you'd like me to make a video on next, and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. It's been fun, guys. Talk to you later.